guys? It's your boy Bugs back with another one. I am super hyped right now, guys. I went 4-0 yet again at another event tonight. So that puts me at 10-0 right now with this category list. And man, I am feeling hyped, bro. I washed up a couple Sakazukis. I've beaten NL. I'm 3-0 versus NL right now out of all those matchups. I also beat a purple Luffy, Betty, and also a red green Law. So it's a couple aggro decks. I actually have 2 wins versus red green Law over the past 2 events against the same guy. But yeah, no, this deck seems to be doing really well into the meta right now, particularly into Sakazuki and into NL. I feel really comfortable in these matchups with this deck. Honestly, like the main game plan really is just aggression. You literally aggress your opponent down to like 1 to 2 life. And L, you want to get him to one. Sakazuki, you can get him to like two, and then just back to back Big Mom. That's what you go for. If you're going first, you go Big Mom on 7, Big Mom on 9, and then you go Big Mom on 10. And literally, it's just honestly, it's like I don't know how you lose really. It's like really hard to lose. But honestly, like Sakazuki is still a problem. It's not, like maybe they can get lucky. Maybe they see all the removal. Maybe you don't see enough triggers. Maybe you brick. Like there are some situations where these things can happen because you do run a fair amount of non-counter. Unfortunately, you have to. Um, as far as my bombs, I keep it at a clean 10. 4 10 drops, 3 8, 3 7. Then we got, so that's 10. We got 3 6 8, so that's 18. So we got it to, forgot about Pero. That puts us at 21 non-counter, which is a little too much. I want to try to get it down to 20. Um, but honestly, these ratios feel fine. I really don't know what I would even cut. Buzzcut Mochi, honestly, is just like my replacement for Gadatu, because honestly, I really do feel like Gadatu is overrated. And I know it's a hot take because Gadatu is so useful. Oh, he can get rid of Kuzan, blah, blah, blah. Buzzcut could do the same thing. And the big difference is that I don't feel bad when I see Buzzcut in my life. When I see Gadatu in my life, it feels awful every time. Especially when I need a game-changing trigger of some sort. Like, this card basically can put a Sanji on the board. This card can put a Cracker on your board. This card can put a Dead Peril Sparrow that's in your hand on the board. And yeah, or it can put a Brule on the board. This card can be a life-saving trigger, or it can just be an offensive trigger. It depends, and also it just helps you clear board if the situation is right. But at the very least, you know, this card has more utility to me than Gadatsu, and it's also searchable. So if the situation calls for it and you actually need it, you grab it. Really good into Red Purple Law. Really good into Rebecca's. Really good into Kuzans, 4-drop Kuzans. So yeah, I don't know. I like it for now. This is the most cuttable card. Like if you guys are gonna take this list and tweak it to your liking, this card you can obviously change. You could probably change the ratios on this and like the categories and stuff like that. These cards I feel like are mandatory to some degree. Um, Honestly, I like my 3. Against Sakazuki, you want to see these cards. It like literally removes their ability to turtle. Like after they sabo, you give them one more turn, and you just basically try to like wall up. You heal with either a Big Mom or a Katakuri or even a 7-drop because they're definitely not going to burn life. If they do, then they're just asking for death. But yeah. So you basically wait till you get to a certain amount of life, and you go for a game with this. You wait till the turn after a Sabo, and then you can go like double Thunderbolt from 3 life, go down to 1 Amaru, go for game, or you can go like from 2 life, use a Thunderbolt, KO a Sabo, use this rest of Rebecca. Earlier today, I even had a situation where I used Thunderbolt while they were protected by Sabo. I paid the cost to trash a card. I attempted to KO a card. It obviously survived because of Sabo effect. But because I was at 1 life, I was able to rest Rebecca and then go for game with the remaining cards I had on board. And he just didn't have it. So, yeah, these cards literally, like, just kill Sakazuki. These are your win conditions versus Sakazuki. Honestly, you want one of each at least. Because basically it becomes like almost like Purple Kaido, where like where you had them at 2 life, and if you had the 10 drop on board, you basically knew you won the next turn if they didn't have a blocker. With Katakuri, it's like if I have big bodies that you can't answer, and you try to survive while depending on blockers because you have no counter in hand, then you just lose to this, 100%. You just lose. Maybe even this if you get me down to like 0 and don't kill me. So yeah, and then honestly, like Sparrow is huge. Crackers like MVP. Oh, yeah, Crackers MVP. Crackers wild. Sanji is insane. This card literally turns sideways so much. Like for the most part, like I said in the other video, this is like a rush card to me, and so is this. This card is literally a rusher, but there are situations where you want to keep them in hand because you want to make sure you have it. And I had a situation earlier like that where I purposely like took attacks that I had the counter power to get out of, because when I did the math of how much Dawn he had left, I knew the highest he could go was 11 and I had 12 to cover it. So I let the other hits land and got to 0, making him think that he had enough, so he committed all his Dawn into his final swing. And it was with a blocker, and I countered out and won the game on the clapback on the next turn because he didn't have enough cards to survive the onslaught that I had because he decided to ignore my board. So sometimes you want to bait your opponents, guys. That's another tip, like with Katakuri. Like you just want to make your opponent think they have it, especially if you put a defensive trigger on the bottom. Like if you know you put a Beige on the bottom, if you know you put a blocker on the bottom, you can like play like, oh my God, like, you don't have it. Oh no, they're going to get me. Oh, you almost got me. You almost got me. And then boom, you lull them into a false system security, and then you turn it around on them on the clapback. And yeah, it works. It works because people get desperate once you get the pressure on them, especially when you're playing bodies off life. If you're establishing crackers, if you're dropping bombs that they can't answer, the pressure builds up, and they decide to go to game at a reckless point. When you have a life that basically counts for 2, like a blocker life or a Capone life, it's over for them. And you throw off their combat math, and then you just come back on the clapback. And if they have no blockers, then you win. If they do have blockers, then you just clear them, and then you still win. So, this deck is just honestly, it's insane, and it's honestly to me right now the best aggro deck right now, and it has the capabilities of winning against all the meta decks. Like NL, like literally, like a lot of them like to just go to 0, or like not go to 0, go to 1, and then like live on the 1 life and dance on the edge. This card says, okay, fine. How long can you last? Most of the time, all it takes is 2. You play 1, you burn them, they heal, and then you swing the leader, and hopefully you've already established an 8 or a 7 the turn before you play this. If you haven't, that's fine. The next turn, you play a second one. You do the same thing. You swing the leader, see if they have it. Like I said, most of the time you have other big bodies. If you don't, usually swing with a 10 drop, you put them at 0. They heal 1. Your turn comes around. Like I did this during the last event. I dropped the 3rd one, and then he couldn't do anything about the other 2, and then I just ended up winning. And a big thing that I've also been doing with Katakuri, honestly, is defending your first life. So this is a big tip that I have for you guys, because there have been situations where you hit that first life and it's like a Thunderbolt or a Beige, and you're like, shit, this sucks. I don't want to see this right now. So basically you defend the first attack. Typically, like it's like a 6k swing or 5k swing. You just defend it. Most of the time you have to counter anyway, so you just defend it. Then on your turn, you either like drop a Surger, then you swing the leader, or maybe you just throw all the down on leader and swing. Sometimes versus Sakazuki, I will put 3 on pudding, swing with that, and then 3, and then swing 5 leader. So at that point, I won't look at other life. But even if I do that, I still just defend the next turn and then look at the life the following turn. But for the most part, the first time you can attack, you look at a life, but you make sure that it's your first life. You don't let them take a life. You look at it, and if you see a really good trigger, you can put it at the bottom. If you see a body, you leave it at the top. If you see a bomb, you leave it at the top. If you see a surgery, you leave it at the top. Life saving triggers go to the bottom. Bombs and other cards that you want to see or bodies that you want off life stay on top. And you always try to make sure you, like, for me, I don't know, like, some people say that, like, I mean, some people have said that I look at my life too much. Honestly, like, I really don't care what your life is. I care about what my life is. I want to make sure that I have defense. You know, if I can see two different life saving triggers that I can shove to the bottom, then I'm really in a comfortable position. Because then I start like healing on top of those cards, knowing they're going to be there, and knowing you just have to fight through this like mountain of life. Like sometimes at 4 life, I'll defend myself. At 3 life, I'll defend myself. My theory with defending is that if I get a perfect counter, then I'll do it. So if I have a 1K that I don't necessarily need and you're swinging 5, I will counter it. If you're swinging 6 and I have a 2K, I will counter it. Other than that, I probably just take. And, you know, obviously if I'm in danger, then, you know, I'll have to get out of a 7 or like, you know, get out of an 8 with 2Ks. But defending the earlier lives before the attacks start getting bigger is honestly the way to go. I feel like that's what's been working for me. Because then honestly, then katakuri becomes this mountain to climb. Because then I have 4 unknown life, and like I'm sitting there looking at them and putting stuff on the bottom and stuff like that. It just becomes like this impossible tower to climb. And the whole time you're trying to progress the game to win, you're also putting yourself in more of a losing position by giving me more bodies most of the time. So this strategy seems to work really well right now. I mean, I really don't know what this deck really loses to like that. Like some people say this deck could lose to aggro. Maybe if you find a random white beard. If you find somebody in the mirror who like just gets luckier than you and just plays the matchup better. But yeah, so far, I mean, I had 2 katakuri mirrors actually within the past couple days. Like in this 10-0 streak, 2 of those wins came from a katakuri. So I have what, 2 wins versus katakuri. I have 3 wins versus Anao. I have 2 wins versus Sakazuki. I have 2 wins versus Red Green Law. And I have 1 win versus Bello Betty. So over the course of the past 2 events. And yeah. And it's not like I've the people I beat have won locals. Like my one friend has literally enough winter cards to build an entire deck with. Like, you know, and these guys are no slouches. I have a very competitive environment, and that's why I've gotten to this point. I've just evolved around them. So that could be a factor in the sense that like this could be, maybe this is just my local specific, but my local happens to be Sakazuki and NL flooded. So because that's what Nats is going to be, and that's what the competitive scene is going to be, I feel like this is actually just a really good list for the current meta. Um. Anyway, that's pretty much like the pointers. Like I know a lot of people like were asking me like, what do we do with this deck? How do we play it? I'm gonna see if I can get a game. Honestly, like I was trying to record footage the other day, and everybody was just rage quitting. Literally, like people just don't want to actually play this match out. They just give up. What is happening? Hmm. Let's see. I don't know what's happening. Let me reset the app real quick. Let's see what we find, guys. Oh, we get a purple Luffy. Oh, yellow is gay. This is gonna be fun. Anybody bet he rage quits. Just based on his name. He's obviously kind of a salty boy. Let's see. Yep, told you guys. This is literally what the sim has devolved to. I should probably start playing the ranked ladder. That might be my next conquest. See how far I can climb on the ranked ladder. Okay, we got a brave soul who's sticking around. Let's see how this goes. So we're going first. We got a decent curve, I would say. I would like to see a Peril Sparrow here. Um, so against Sabo, not that this is like a deck that people have to really be worried about like that, but against Sabo, you really just want to go face. If he starts developing bodies, you want to just ignore them and you want to just keep swinging at his leader. Simple as that. The fact that they can defend their bodies, he really has to turtle up heavy. And again, he just loses to the Thunderbolts and the Amarus too, depending on what he plays. Let's see. Could have looked at life. I just decided to just be aggressive here, get the extra swing in. And I got a 2K for a 5K swing. That's always a good interaction. Like I said, like when you're trying to counter, you mostly want to just do perfect counters. You know, like I don't have any 2Ks right now, so I'm just gonna take it. And it's Capone. See, I wish I had a 2K so I could defend that life. I could have put that at the bottom of my deck, but it's fine. Let's see. I think we develop. So let's view mine. I'm gonna place that on top because that's a good body. Oh yeah, duh. See, I said it too. Just go face. Well, there's an example of what not to do versus Sabo. I'm sorry, guys. I literally I'm just coming from the event. I actually had a couple drinks with the boys after. I turned off notifications. I don't know why that popped up. Alright, so we got a perfect counter here. Let's just do it. Let's take it. 6. Sure. We'll get out of it because we can. Alright. It's I could play a 7 cost. See, I'm misplaying now, yours. I already knew that was there, didn't I? It's fine. Honestly, see, look, this is crazy, dude. I'm not even playing optimally right now. Believe me, I was on point during the event, but ooh, I can't attack. Alright. But right now, I'm not playing optimally, but it's fine. I will still get there. I'll discard this. And I'll discard. What am I going to? I'm at 7. I'm going to 9. I'll play the 7 drop big bomb next turn, so I'll keep that. I'll get rid of this. Go ahead. Do we keep the Amaru? Nah, it's fine. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't want to discard that. That's annoying. It's fine. I was trying to discard the Amaru. Alright, so he's trying to wall up. It's fine. Now, I can go like this. Don't want to use the card action now. I want to keep the life. See what he does. He's probably going to block with the Hina. Yep. There's no way for me to really play around that. That's fine. Oh, we're going to keep that on top so we can deal with the Borsellino. That's nice. Can't really do much about that. What are you going to do, buddy? Trash? Perfect. Ooh, it's a rush Luffy. Nice. I really didn't need to heal, to be honest. I'm going to heal regardless anyway. it sucks, guys. I wanted to show you guys this deck versus a meta deck, but Sabo is kind of popular. You might actually run into one of these. So, I mean, either way, it could come up. See you later, boy. So, probably should just got rid of the Hina. The Hina's more of a problem, honestly, with that double block, but it's fine. He's gonna keep going face. He's got 3 cards left in hand. Sure. No. Take a life with Sanji, please. Do it. Dare you. He did it. Whoop. Yeah, this is fine. How much counter power you got? As soon as he blocks, that means I know he has no more counter in hand. Oh no, actually he might block just to stop the Sanji from attacking. But either way, you're stopping the blocker, which is fine with me. I should have actually made that a 7. That was dumb. Is that a counter? If it is, then he might have me. Nope, it's not. GG's. GG's, boy. Alright, guys, that's gonna be the video. I'm tired. But yeah. Hopefully this discussion kind of helped some of you guys. I know some of you guys were saying you're trying to learn the deck. I am definitely down for games and stuff, guys. Reach out to me, be it through Facebook, Discord. Maybe I'll leave my Discord down below. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Honestly, I really do think this deck would be a really good competitor for Nats. I want people to test this deck out. I want people to tweak it and put their own little twist on it and let me know how it goes and win locals too. I've won 2 in a row, so 8-0, 2 undefeated events, and then the event before it was X1. I won round 1, lost round 2, won the last 2 rounds. So I am 10 straight right now. This deck is fire. Try it out. If you like aggro, if you like a deck that actually has a really good outplay potential and really good reactive plays and just ways to just checkmate your opponent, this is the deck for you. Like Big Mom sometimes can just be checkmate. You know, Amru, Thunderbolt can be checkmate. You can literally like make comeback victories. This deck is insane. You can bait your opponent. It's so fun. Anyway, guys, have a good night.